Am I the arsehole for not buying my daughter anything? Am I the arsehole for telling my wife she can't have it both ways? You'd lose your shit if someone spoke to her like that. You're her example of how she should expect others to be treated. So treat your wife in the same way. So either apologise or get out. Welcome back, guys.
Hey, we're back.
We're back indoors.
We are.
Not in the garden.
Didn't last long, did it? It's actually lovely at the moment.
We did it just in time
It is.
because we're actually starting to get some storm, which is been
It's
quite
that
nice.
time of year that you can go out in the morning and it's freezing.
Like you.
And then it's
Oh no,
hot.
you go out in the morning
but it's
like me
freezing.
and it's cold, and then you look like
need to change like this, and then I'm going to go out later on and I'm going to be freezing.
Yeah. No, it is a bit up and down.
It can go from literally beach weather to you need to be inside. Like the rain is that torrential.
To the point I dug out my slippers this morning.
I've got mine now.
I dug out my dressing gown.
I haven't got one.
Do you throw yours away every year?
Yeah.
Really?
I did. And usually I wait until I get a new one to then throw it.
But
I think it was like to get a new one. I never did.
I do that sometimes. If I do it will make me.
You didn't. And now I'm like, I'm so cold. So I've got like random jumpers and this on going around the house.
I think mine was new last year, so I've kept it. I normally keep it for a couple of years, till it's like not that soft and nice anymore. But yeah, putting my slippers on again because I've got some nice like quality ones,
snuggly,
proper snuggly ones. Yeah. So
it's that time of year we joke about it. We have to go outside to warm up as well, isn't it? You know, that sort of weather.
Yeah. It is for sure.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's nice. It's nice for it to cool down a little bit. I've been kind of waiting for it. But now we've booked camping for a nice long weekend, and it's due to rain every day.
It is. I'm quite used to it because every time I book
send
camping,
me like activities to do at camping in the rain, so that I pack all the right stuff.
But I'm excited. I am really excited. I'm really not going to let that faze me because it actually will make us do more of the things that we wanted to do anyway, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean?
And to be fair, when it rains, especially this time of year, it's not cold.
No, it's just wet.
So even if the kids are out dancing in the rain.
Well, last time we was where we were going, the kids had gone out on, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a big thing that you pedal. You know what I mean? Like a big. I'm trying to think.
A big wheel?
No, not one big wheel. It's not one big wheel.
It's got like a penny farthing.
No, I was going to say a penny farthing. I didn't know if you'd knew what I'd be on about. So you've got like the canopy over. Imagine like one of them beer bus bikes things.
Okay.
Imagine that, but on like a smaller thing. So there's like a bench. Obviously, you got the canopy over, and then you pedal it, sort of thing. So they went out on one of them last time we were there. It dropped like rain that you could not even see anything in front of you. I've run out. I've got the dog out. Mitch is out I think he got in the van. I'm literally whistling because that's obviously how they know it's me.
Yeah.
Trying to whistle anyway because obviously you can't even speak because this was going in you. I'm screaming. I'm shouting. Couldn't see anyone, let alone see them. Bearing in mind this thing's bright yellow as well. And then obviously we're all running everywhere trying to find them. Then it dies down a little bit. And then you see him just all absolutely buzzing, soaking wet, buzzing, just going down the road in the torrential rain.
I think it was about
that memory they've never forgot.
Exactly. I think it was about, was it last year? Or it might have been the year before. I wasn't pregnant, but I don't know if I had Hayden at that point. But it was like early in the year where it's still nice and warm, but it just threw it down. And I said, Kaysen, come outside. So me and him went out and we just danced in the rain. Yeah. So I've got a video of us. We're absolutely soaked, just dancing around in the rain.
And it sounds mad, doesn't it?
Yeah. But sometimes you have to do those things.
You do, definitely.
But no, that's booked. I'm looking forward to that. We've both been tatted up since
we have.
Since our
Mine's
last
not finished yet, but we have.
You've made a start.
Actually, I booked mine, and then
you've had yours booked for months.
Months when Mason had his first one, and then you and Mitch were like, oh. I better book in as well.
Yeah, I fancy one too.
You two ended up going before me, but we was all in literally within
within the space of a week. Yeah, so that was good.
Yeah, we did that. That was another thing.
So I got
done after 10 years.
Yeah, you've had your vouchers for a long time. I just fancied one for like the last couple of months. So I was unsure whether to add to my leg, but then I ended up adding to the one on my ribs. So I've added 2 flowers around like this B and L
because you designed that, didn't you?
Yeah, so I designed the B and the L with some like swirly bits around it, and I don't know, I just didn't love it as much as I used to, so I thought it's kind of missing something. So I added a rose, which is technically the flower for June, which is Hayden, but it was more roses are pretty and it's the flower of love, so it can be for all three boys.
And it's usually
up. And then I had a peony, if that's what it's called, which is actually the flower for November, or one of the flowers for November, and it signifies wealth and prosperity and happiness. So I was like, yeah, I do. That sounds nice.
And it's a
so
pretty
two
flower.
pretty flowers. And then you had a
I had
cover
a
up.
cover up. The cover up was like this.
Yeah, and then
the cover up was like this, and now I've got
we've actually ended up quite similar with nice big leg tattoos.
So yeah, it's not finished yet, but it does go up a bit here a bit. But we're covered up what we need to cover up. I'm a bit at the flaky stage at the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I'm happy I've done it, because it was I was very at the thing of I'm just going to cancel
honestly thought you were going to cancel because you weren't 100% sure. You knew that you wanted a lion for Leo and you wanted some flowers for the kids for their like their birth months and stuff, but it was what kind of lion,
and how it was going to be,
how would it sit.
Yeah,
so that was up until, was it a couple of hours before, or
the night
before?
The night before, literally, probably literally the night before. I'd just messaged.
I thought you were going to just get so stressed and cancel, and obviously it is a big thing, so if you're not 100% sure,
it is,
you don't really want to just
rush and then I'm like, do I really want it? You start asking yourself. But it's like, you do want it. You've wanted it for like 10 years. You haven't changed generally what you've wanted. It's just now it comes down to it, and you've got to make that decision. You just don't actually want to make the decision. It's that, isn't it?
I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
But did it, Bill?
Because I did the same thing. I booked mine in, and then was like, well, what are you getting? I was like, well, I'm thinking maybe this, or maybe that, or maybe this, and then maybe that. So he's like, well,
you changed where you were having it.
Yeah, and even what I was having, I was like,
here.
maybe flowers, maybe a phoenix, maybe woods and mountains around the walls, but literally about 5 or 6 different things. And so I ended up, I stopped talking to Liam about it because he was annoying me.
Yeah, sometimes too many opinions, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just like, I just need my own.
He's like, I don't like flowers.
It's not your tattoo.
And at that point, I wasn't even sure I wanted flowers. But then when he said it, then I was like, oh, well, if you don't really like it, I'm not sure. Then, so in the end, I was like, I stopped talking to you about it. I spoke to my sister about it. So I sent her the flowers. And I thought that would actually tie in quite nicely with what I've got. So when I decided, because I was like, adding to the anyway.
It goes on and on, doesn't it?
Made the decision, but it's hard.
When you know you want something, but you're not 100% sure.
Well, like you say, I did what you did. Booked in the date, so it would rush me to make a decision. But I did get there in the end.
Yeah, we did. I'm proud that we did.
Proud of us. We made a decision.
If they see me walk through that door again, they're probably like, oh my God, no, you are not booking in again. No.
We don't want to see you for 10 more years.
I'm booked in to get finished, so yeah.
But soon after I got my tattoo, I had a mole removed on my back.
Okay. But why did you have it removed? Is that when you went before to have a check? You mentioned it before.
I went for a checkup because I'm a very molly person.
Yeah. What, just nothing hurt, nothing itched?
No.
Just out of precaution?
When I went to the normal doctors for a check on my shoulder, because I've got a tear on one of my things on my shoulder which hurt, and while I was there I said, can you check my back, because I've got quite a few moles, and they said this one's on the verge of being quite large, so we're going to monitor it. We've measured it and it's in the system. So then when I went to I had private healthcare, so I was like, well, I might as well just book and get a proper mole check properly with like their funny laser lens thing or whatever it is. So I booked that in, and he looked at the large one on my back, which the other doctor said is,
the one that's been removed,
the one that ended up being removed. So he said it's on the verge of being a concern, but it's not yet. But Liam has said that is definitely got bigger over the years. It was definitely not that big a few years ago, so it is growing. So he said it doesn't have to be taken out. And I said, well, if I want it taken out, he said, and yeah, you can. So I said, right, well, if it's on the verge of being a concern.
You don't need it for anything. You might as well get rid of it.
And if it is going to be a concern and these things grow, and my mum's had precancerous skin stuff taken off. My brother's had mole cut out of his back. So I was like, there's just no point. So book me in. So I did that a couple of months ago, and I was like, October, that's ages away. And then it's like, Sue comes round.
It does, doesn't it?
And I was like, okay. So went in. They injected me in the back, which was a little bit uncomfortable, about eight or 9 times to numb it. And then 20 minutes later.
What, like incision, literally?
Incision. Out. It was quite a nice doctor, actually. It's kind of just,
And stitched?
Stitched. I assumed it was going to be a stitch anyway. I didn't really pay much attention when I don't think he even explained it much. But stitched up, patched over. he actually cut off 2 of my skin tags, which he said normally we charge you for, but it's fine. I was like, thanks. So yeah, and then I left it covered up for a couple of days, and it, to be fair, it's probably one of the sorest things I've had.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on my back, so it's an uncomfortable position, but like it's burning, it's itching, and I realised afterwards I took the patch off after a couple of days. It's like that long.
Yeah, so it's the incision.
It's like
isn't it?
8 stitches or something.
That's the like you say, that would come more from your cut.
Yeah,
and that they've messed and scraped
yeah,
and then gone
exactly. So yeah, it was a bit tender. Yeah, it was a good tender and sore and rather annoying for probably 2-3 days. Now I don't really notice it or feel it, but I've got to go back in a few days to have stitches out.
They've got to have them out. So you can ask why, not why, but is there a reason it was?
Well,
do you know what I mean? Was it bigger than they expected when they started to remove it?
Well, I spoke to my mum after, because she's had a couple removed as well, and she said that moles actually have quite big roots.
I see, so it's probably that.
Yeah, and it was a good,
and if it's
5 cent,
you need to get it from.
It was root. Probably a 5 cent size.
Wow.
So then it has to go round the edge to make sure, and then deep.
Never noticed.
Because she said it's probably gone that wide because it's that deep as well, to make sure that it doesn't bust, or I don't really know. But yeah, anyway, one of the quite painful things.
But that's, you know what, I need to go and get some of mine checked then, because I feel like some of mine have changed. Do you know what I mean? Over the time.
Well, there's a rule that you can look at. I think in Spanish it's ABCD actually, because the doctor showed me. But basically, I think it's all C's in English. So it's the colour. Is it all one colour, or has it started to be different colours within the same mole? The circumference, is it symmetrical, or is it started to go like
a fuzz?
Yeah,
blur or whatever. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I think maybe even the size as well is something. If it changes size as well, I think that's the main ones that come to mind. There might be a couple of other things.
Yeah,
but even the one that my mum had looked at, she asked one doctor, they said no, it's fine. She asked another doctor, he went straight away, that's precancerous, we need to get it off.
I was just about to say as well that go and do it. Do you know what I mean? If you just think, oh no, it's nothing, just go and do it. And if you still don't feel confident with what that first doctor has told you, go to another one.
Yeah,
because usually your instincts, you know what I mean, and your intuitions are right, aren't they? You know, that's what I would say anyway.
Yeah.
Definitely. So I need to do that. I need to go on mine. Well done for you going to get your check, and well done getting it done.
Yes. So
we actually had a class booked this weekend. We went to pottery class.
We did. I wonder what class you talk about then. I was like, God, what have I forgot?
Just because it was something that
it was a random girls' day.
Yeah, and we were saying to do something that we wouldn't. Well, saying that we probably would do it with the kids, but we wouldn't usually do.
But we always, any celebration, it's we'll go for dinner, we'll go for lunch, like.
Just dinner and out,
drinks,
dinner and out.
And a lot of the time we don't go out. So it's dinner, a couple of drinks, and then we go home. So it was nice to have an actual activity booked.
I really enjoyed it.
And it was funny, Liam dropped me off and he was like, see you later, Granny. Like taking the mick out of our activity. But I had a great time.
I loved it. I'm really excited to get
it back.
Yeah, I did a salt and pepper shaker.
You did?
That was the hardest thing, wasn't it? To choose what you had to paint.
I was up there for about 20 minutes trying to decide. And you was all waiting for me. I was like, the pressure.
And I just did that because I thought I'd want to finish to paint it, but it's true. It was lovely. It was really, really.
So I did a plate, and then our friends did a little jewellery box and a little mermaid, which was cute. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. They say the like colouring and stuff is quite therapeutic, and it really was.
It was nice just to. I don't know. We probably didn't even talk to each other, did we? Because we were so focused on
concentrating. We were concentrating. And then I went downstairs to the bar and brought up a bottle of fizz.
We did.
So that was quite nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
And then we grabbed a little pub lunch after. But no, I loved it.
And the ladies over the table left us their little Prosecco
They
as well,
did. So we ended up with a bottle and a half. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah. It was fun. I definitely advise that as a little activity. Yeah. As couples, as friends.
Yeah.
With your kids as well, if you can.
Yeah, because they've got like little like Christmas ornament things like stars and baubles. So you could take the kids, they can paint their little thing. But if not, take it for a girls' day.
Yeah, defo.
That was really nice. It wouldn't have been as relaxing if we had the kids with us.
No, I really, really, really enjoyed it. We've said we're going to do a Christmas one, haven't we?
Yeah. Exactly. It's not even like, what activity we're going to do. Like, we'll go back and we'll get ourselves a little Christmas ornament.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a good week.
We've had a great week. Yeah, I've had a good week. And today I thought we're going to We're
I
going
feel
to
like you're
quash
weird.
some
Sorry, you've got no
debates.
pen and paper.
I know how digital am I getting? I was
What's he done to you?
so we use my phone as one of the cameras, so I don't have my phone on me, and actually was sending things over to Liam to the iPad, and he was like, "Oh, look at you getting all digital." I was like, "I know you're proud of me,"
rather than writing it down like you usually do.
It's a long story. Otherwise,
I
I would
see
have
what you
actually
mean. Yeah.
sat and wrote
Yeah.
it down, pen and
Yeah, yeah.
paper. But no, this was much faster.
Right. So what? You've seen a story.
I've got a story, and then we're going to debate it.
Go for it.
So I've got a couple. So let's jump straight into the first one.
Okay.
So these are all "Am I the arsehole" stories.
Oh, I like these.
Yeah. So am I the arsehole for not buying my daughter anything? So let's see what this one's about, guys. Okay. So me and my wife have 4 children. While my wife and I make pretty good money compared to the rest of our siblings, we both agreed not to overindulge our kids and that they would earn money for the things that they wanted. We provide the essentials and our children would share the benefit from the comforts that we provide in our home. But things that they wanted for themselves individually, it would mostly have to come from their own pocket money. We provide an allowance for our youngest kids, 14 and 13, as they aren't old enough to get jobs. Once our second, 17, turned 16 and was old enough to get a job, my wife and I both sat her down and explained to her that our oldest stopped getting an allowance as soon as he was old enough to get a job and encouraged her to get a job too. She said she didn't really want to get a job because she didn't like being told what to do. I was a little disappointed, but said that was her choice. My wife and I both made it clear that whether she got a job or not, she wasn't going to get an allowance anymore, but would still be expected to complete household chores since he lived there. Kate said she didn't really think that was fair since the 2 youngest would still get their allowance, and I explained that's because they're too young to get their own jobs. So Kate stopped doing her chores and said she didn't see the point since she wasn't getting an allowance anymore. I mentioned that I don't get an allowance for cleaning the house, neither does my wife. Kate said that that's not the same. We're in a tough spot because I wasn't going to kick her out of the house. I can't force her to do chores and I couldn't make her get a job. And I wasn't going to let her keep getting an allowance when she is old enough to get a job herself. My wife and I discussed it and decided that we would split Kate's allowance and chores between the 2 youngest. They were thrilled about the idea of a new and more challenging chores and extra money. I mentioned to my wife that we need to drive the point home and really tighten the screws financially on Kate to drive the point to her. Few dollars to get to go eat with friends? No. Money to go to a school dance? No. New clothes for school? Take her to a clothing drive? No. Surely, eventually, she would get the point. She's been moody and barely coming out of her room lately. She has also been snapping at everyone. My wife mentioned that Kate is starting to resent her younger sisters because they have money and she doesn't. She asked if it would be the worst thing if we would offer to put her back on an allowance to do her chores. I said I don't think that was a good idea because the younger girls have already gotten the extra chores and money. I said it's also unfair to our oldest son who did the chores without an allowance because he was old enough to have a job. My wife thinks that Kate will never go get a job and continuing to give her sisters the allowance is going to make her resent them more. Am I right or am I the arsehole?
I personally think he's right. That's more or less what I do in my house.
Yeah?
Literally what they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they have their bits and bobs. Saying that, yeah. So they have their bits and bobs to do in the house that they can have like get pocket money for.
Yeah.
And then there's certain things in the house that I'm like, well, no, we're a team.
Yeah.
So let's help each other out here.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So like your standard expectations are they're the chores that you have to do anyway.
Yeah, like so
and
for
then
example,
extra ones
yes,
for money.
So like walking the dog, things like that, Morgan would get paid for, whereas Mason won't get paid for.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah, because he's old enough to
He's
work.
older and he works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not yeah, because he is old enough to work. He wouldn't get paid for it if he was that age, exactly like that story. Yeah. The problem is the fact that it's worked with one child and then the next child it hasn't.
But they've got 4 kids.
And then they've got 2 others below watching.
And they're actually doing what they're supposed to do.
But they're also watching this.
How you treat that one.
That's hard. I personally say that he's not an arsehole. That's what I would say. That's
I don't think he's an arsehole. I think it is a tough position to be in.
It's a tough one because at the same time, this is where some kids go the opposite way, isn't it? But at the same time, you can't go back on it, because then it's just gonna throw everything in what you've worked so hard for to bring the children up, how you're bringing them up. And this is where you get kids who don't want to fucking do anything.
Which it sounds like she is.
I think she just needs to just be left.
But then at the same time, 17 is a really tough age. She's a girl, hormones, all of that stuff. And it's like, are you potentially putting a wedge between you where you're creating this distance with your child over something that is important, and it's a life lesson, really, but you could ruin your relationship. That's what she's saying.
I get it.
The mum's worried about the relationship.
I think that's what happens now. I think we're all too scared of our own children.
Yeah.
Do we have, in a way, of, oh, I don't want to upset them, oh, you know, like that kind of
I
a
don't
thing.
want to ruin my relationship with my
when
kids.
all the things that we're doing is to help them and to teach them. I say it to mine all the time. I'm not doing these and saying these things to be annoying and go on. I don't want to, do you know what I mean? I'm doing it to bring you up to be a good person and a nice young man and a good adult and
some life skills, right? Because if it's teaching them that, you know, sometimes you have to delay gratification. You have to save up for the things that you want. You have to work hard to get money to afford things. You can't just have it always bought for you and given to you. And you live in this house, you should contribute. Yeah. Like, I agree with all of that. But yeah, when one kid kind of defies them, ruins the process, I can't go back on it, because like you say, you've got the two younger kids. Be able
to. And then if that child did really go off the rails, you'd have to just try and obviously, but not go back on that. They've just got to grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't even sound like that she's been brought up to be a spoilt cow, because they've
made sure that they're trying to avoid this situation.
Exactly. I feel really sorry for them, actually.
Yeah, they're doing everything to avoid having a spoilt kid that won't get off their ass and work.
Yeah, she's acting like she's a spoiled little bitch.
Yeah.
You know, I bet the older brother's like, what's your problem? I've done it. You do it, kind of thing.
Well, I think, you know, it's only fair. To be fair, I couldn't get a job fast enough. I want my own money.
I think once you've got it,
from 13,
it's obviously how her mentality is, which is also a quiet thing. You can't, as much as you bring your children up to as much as you can.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's still that.
Yeah.
Bit,
and it's hard because the mum's saying, I don't think she'll get a job. So it sounds like you say, it doesn't sound like there's anything deeper going on. It just sounds like she's been a bit of a brat. Yeah. So I would stick to your guns.
Yeah.
You've obviously done a good job with your son. He's older than 17 and he's
working. You've got two
others
underneath watching too.
If they decide to pay her, then what the youngest two will be like, well, I ain't getting a job then. You can just keep paying me for my chores.
It'll just ruin the whole thing.
I think stick to your guns, play it out a bit longer, let her realise that you're not going to go back on your word for a bit. And if you do feel like you're losing her and things get worse in terms of relationship or, you know, communication or whatever, then maybe you have a separate side agreement.
Or put it on her. Is there anyone, do you know what I'm trying to think? Because it's different how children sometimes would, and teenagers especially, would react with you. Yet some, don't get me wrong, I would have done it in front of anybody else. But there's some people who wouldn't speak, even younger people wouldn't speak to other people how they'd speak to obviously their parents.
Yeah.
So put it on like if you know someone with a business or something that they could give her some kind of work experience or a few hours work, ring her and go, you're right, I heard that you're looking for a job. You can start next. Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just to
call
put it
her
on
bluff
a
little bit.
Yeah, just to
well, it sounds like she doesn't want a job. Like, I don't want to get one. So it's not even that I've tried. That's not even her excuse, is that I don't want one. So yeah, I think hold your guns, call her bluff. Soon as she realizes that she can't do some of the things that she wants to do, and a lot of her other friends are probably getting jobs and babysitting and doing things to have their money, she should hopefully come around.
Because I think once you do start working and earning money, you can't get out of it, can you? It does drive you to keep
Yeah, for sure. And it gives you a certain level of freedom as well. You know, you can buy what you want with your own money.
But mine do that now. So they have their own money. So there's I can't just go buying stuff willy-nilly.
I haven't got to the point where I've given Kaysen an allowance yet.
But Lexi doesn't really get an allowance. It's just money she's saved up from birthdays or do you know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Kaysen's is the same really. Or every now and then if I'm like something out the ordinary, do something special or do these things. Like, for example, he asked for a Super Mario game for his Nintendo thing the other day. So I wrote down a list of these are the behaviours, because I also heard from a parent expert that paying them to do chores is good, but his way is I don't pay them to do chores because they live in the house, they should
That's
do
what
those
I
things.
feel sometimes, you know.
So what he pays his kids for is for creating value, or for behavior. So if your brother's not very well and you go and comfort him and you look after him and you know, make him some food or put a movie on and spend time, you know, trying to cheer them up, that's a good behavior. That's something I want to see. That's a good personal trait. So I'll pay you for that. Or what was the other things? Like, you know, this is something that mum normally does, or I thought I'd make you a cup of tea, mum, or, you know, like something that they don't have to do, or even stuff within the house of if laundry isn't their job, but then they're doing it, or would it be helpful to you, mum, if I did this for you? Thinking out of the box of things, not just giving
off their
them
own back kind of thing.
Creating stuff. So that's
and
what
then they get rewarded
for
that in a way, like you say, because
otherwise with chores and money, it shows them that, you know, even just doing the bare minimum to be part of this house, you get paid for, which, you know, I think, like you say, actually you should be expected to do that, because you should want to help each other out anyway, without a financial gain. But it also creates an employee mentality, which there's nothing wrong with it. I do a job, I get paid for it. I do a job, I get paid for it. You know, it's a good way to start. But his way is trying to think of something out of the ordinary, something different, creating value. If I can bring value to your life and make your life easier, mum, then I'm going to get rewarded for it. So that's, you know, I might be employed to do a job, but if I can think of something that my boss would really, or the company would benefit from, that's outside of my job, I'm going to get promoted faster. I'm going to get paid more. So it's that kind of thing.
I like that idea. But no, he's not, and I don't think he's an arsehole.
No, he's not the arsehole.
And it's hard not to stick together as well. See how the mum's questioning it.
Yeah. And as the mum, if I had a 17-year-old daughter who's, I hate you, you're ruining my life, I would be a bit worried as well. It doesn't come out of her room. But I think stay as a team, stick to your guns. Hopefully she comes round, and if she doesn't, continue with pushing and teaching her a lesson that this isn't what, you can't just do nothing in life.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what other one have we got?
That was a good one.
How about I read the titles to you and you pick?
Okay.
I'll give you a couple. Am I the arsehole for telling my wife she can't have it both ways? Am I the arsehole? Obviously, husband. Am I the arsehole for calling out someone else's family member at a children's birthday party?
I want that one.
That one?
Okay.
That one. Oh, all right.
That one.
So this is a 31-year-old female. I had my child's third birthday. The party ended up being hosted at my partner's grandmother's house. It was mostly his family and a few of their close friends in attendance, about 20 people, give or take, plus their kids. For context, the men in this family are very spoiled growing up, and now as adults, they often say whatever they want with no filter, and everyone just tolerates it. We had this conversation the other day. When someone is just so certain, oh, it's just them, oh, it's just them, and you just let it go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why?
At one point, my partner, his cousins, all mid-20s to early 30s, said, and their girlfriends were in another room playing blackjack before everyone was ready to sing happy birthday. One cousin was dealing the cards while his wife made small talk about something that their kid did that annoyed her. Out of left field, he made a snide comment, well, maybe if you aren't so incompetent and stupid, that wouldn't have happened. His wife went quiet and just looked down. Nobody said anything. The guys laughed it off. I sat there waiting for someone to step in, but nobody did. I've heard him do this many times at other occasions, but unfortunately I was either too far away from the situation or occupied with something else. But this time I had no excuse. So finally I said something. I'm like, you have a little girl. You'd lose your shit if someone spoke to her like that. You're her example of how she should expect others to be treated. So treat your wife in the same way. So either apologize or get out and let your wife meet you back at home. Long story short, he apologized. So I'm like, awesome. It's a shame I had to be the one to say it and not the literal men in the room. Live with that shame, by the way. Anyway, back to the game, and carried on. The women were smiling after that, but the vibe with the men did a complete 180. Later that night, when everyone left and we were winding down for bed, my partner told me that a lot of his family, because word got around, was mad at me. Apparently, they thought I was rude, insulting, and that at a kid's birthday party wasn't the time or place. Everyone just wanted to have fun. I won't get into how the conversation ended, but I'm wondering, was it my place? Was it the time? And am I the arsehole for ruining everyone's fun?
No, I would say she's not the arsehole, although it's funny, isn't it, how when someone says something, like the outspoken person gets the shit.
Yeah.
Like for the right thing.
She's ended up being the villain when
Yeah.
actually the bloke who thinks he can speak to his wife like that in public is the arsehole.
And they all had that discussion, the family did, and didn't want to go and say it to her, did they?
No, rather than say, well, he's the arsehole for actually putting everybody in that situation for someone to have to say something, it's then on her for being the one to say something.
And not the time and the place.
Yeah, I mean, kids' birthday parties aren't really the time and place to bring stuff up. But in the moment when something happens...
I thought it was in another room playing blackjack. I didn't think blackjack was the kind of place to play.
Well, there you go then. Like you say, it is in another room while they're waiting for the cake to be served.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's in amongst all the kids. But, yeah, obviously...
It's always the ones who say something, isn't it? About... So someone who's doing something bad, say, or something not right, someone who says something about that, they get, like, backlash off it. Most of the time.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
It's like shoot the messenger, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's it. Yeah. In a way.
But
I'm happy for her for saying it. You know what I mean? And if I think that lady would have, like his wife would have appreciated it too. I'm hoping it would have give her a little bit of confidence to be like, I shouldn't be spoken to like that.
Because like you say, it sounds like a point where you just get worn down and down and down to the point you don't even say it anymore because their behaviour never changes, because that's what it sounds like.
It's like the family. It's obviously that's how it sounds. It's like the family trait, isn't it? That the men are not very clearly.
And this bloke has a daughter.
This is something that I repeat a lot to the boys in my house with Lexi. So Lexi is very loud and very da-da-da, but at the same time, she's still a young girl. So when they're playing and fighting and they're joking and banter and da-da-da-da-da, sometimes it just goes that for me, that's step too far. Mm-hmm. And I have to obviously say to the boys, I want her to know how to expect to be treated. Do you know what I mean? I need you to show her how she should expect to be treated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't treat her right, she's going to think that's normal.
Yeah.
So please treat her how you want her to be treated by everybody else.
Yeah.
Please. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's something and I get it because it's a brother and a sister, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time.
And they're not linking how I banter with my sister is going to be what she tolerates in a relationship when she's older.
Yeah. Sometimes every now and then they can see something in very very clear, should I say, where say Mason's done something and then all of a sudden Morgan will walk out and he'll be either wearing exact similar kind of style something or do something and Mason just smiles at me because obviously that's Morgan wanting to be like his big brother, for example. Do you know what I mean? Or the boys, my nephews, the twin boys, they'll do something, like for Morgan or Mason or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And then they'll smile. And I see they're always watching you. I did it earlier with, where Hayden was throwing around and then we realised it's because them two were jumping around like nutters. And I was like, he's copying you.
He's copying you, jumping off the sofa. Please stop.
Yeah, and it does, like you say, sometimes we don't realise so like that. But when you point it out in
I've noticed it a lot with Kaysen, probably in the last 6 months of the words that he's using about Hayden is stuff that me and Liam have said, like, oh, he's a terrorist, oh, he's this, he's that. And I'm like, I don't like it when he says it, but weird, then I'm the one saying it. So then I'm like, said to Liam, we have to be careful what we say because, yes, Hayden is a handful and he drives us mad sometimes, but we love him and he's great. And Kaysen is listening to how we're talking about him.
And that's what another thing unless I just didn't listen, but I feel like I never heard any of my parents' conversations, whereas I feel that we have not. I just feel like this generation have a lot of conversations in front of their children.
Yeah.
They're not directly having a conversation with the child. Our kids are
living room kids, aren't they?
You know what I mean?
That's one thing that I noticed when it was mentioned online, that we would go to our bedrooms to play, whereas our kids bring their stuff to the living room to play.
Yes, like they've got the whole setup in the room, yet they bring that whole setup out into the living room.
Exactly. So they are in front of you a lot.
Yeah.
So you don't really have a choice but to talk in front of them sometimes, which I actually think is good to a degree. Certain sort of conversations
depending
should be
on
parked.
what you're discussing, like you say, because sometimes you don't realise. Sometimes they could not even say anything and they're worrying about something, but they've only
I used to
heard
do
part
that a
of
lot
conversation.
before I had kids. We would be together talking, and you would be very aware and stop talking on certain things, and I'd be like, they're not listening. And then now I've had cases and I'm like, they listen a lot.
Yeah, I'll repeat.
Yeah.
They're always watching.
Casey doesn't stop saying that since the episode. Right, we'll squeeze one more in.
Go on,
okay, so.
There's no assholes in my book at the minute anyway.
No.
They're my kind of people.
Yeah, let's have a look. So, am I the arsehole for responding harshly to a sister-in-law's email? Am I the arsehole for not bringing my daughter's friend home and making her parents come get her?
Oh, that one. I want to hear that one.
Okay, so let's have a look.
This could lose my kids and friends.
Well, I did see this title and I thought, what we're getting to the age now where kids are playing with other, well, for me anyway, kids are playing with other kids. So my daughter and I live about an hour outside New York City. Since she was a baby, I've taken her there most weekends. As she's got older, she occasionally brings friends. They always know the rules. Bring a bag with things for the train and carry your own stuff. Stick together and expect lots of walking and have fun, obviously. Phones are fine, but I encourage screen-free activities. I always speak to the parents beforehand and emphasize there's a lot of walking, and sometimes we walk for 45 minutes or more. For her 12th birthday last weekend, she wanted to go to the city with some friends, visit her favorite spots, have dinner, and maybe see a show. My mum helped pay for her tickets and joined us. My daughter invited 3 girls, 2 longtime friends who know the routine, and a new friend called Leah. I called Leah's mum, explained the rules, warned her about the walking, and suggested that she bring something for the train since the signal is bad. Leah's mum said that she was really excited, and her daughter also explained My daughter also explained the expectations to her new friend. On the train, Leah brought only her phone. She got bored when the signal cut out, refused to chat or play games with the others, and complained. When we arrived, she immediately asked for a cab. So, taxi for us. Cab. My daughter reminded her that we walk as we browsed through the shops, but she kept whinging and asking for a taxi. I stayed patient. I offered her water and snacks and even suggested the subway might be a nice change, but she refused when she learned what the subway was.
Wow.
A few hours in, we stopped for dinner at a place with options for everyone. She still complained and said she wanted to go home. I pulled her aside to check if she was sick or upset, but she said she was just bored. I told her we'd be there for a few more hours because we had a show booked, but she wanted to leave. So could she call her mum? So Leah called and her mum asked me to bring her back. Even if my mum or I had left with Leah and took the train back after we had dropped her off, we would miss the show. So my daughter actually wanted us both there as well. I explained that we wouldn't head back until after the show. Leah's mum didn't want to pay for the train ticket for the daughter to go back by herself, and she didn't want to drive. She eventually sent Leah's dad to come pick her up before the show. Leah stayed moody throughout the entire dinner. Afterward, Leah's mum trashed me to other mums, but they backed me up, saying that they wouldn't expect me to cut the trip short unless a child had been sick or hurt, which I would have done. Now Leah's mum won't let her hang out with my daughter. I can't help wondering if I should have just sucked it up and took her home.
No. Definitely not. That day was about your daughter.
It was her birthday.
Everything was about her daughter.
And everything was pre-explained and pre-warned.
I'm glad that mum won't let her see your daughter. You don't want your daughter around that girl.
That is a good spin. It would be hard to explain that to a 12-year-old, but yeah.
Look at your long-term friends. They know the rule. You get on the train, you don't have screens, you do this, you do that, you go and explore, you go walking, you do all these things that you wanted to do with your friends and your family.
Yeah.
And these people don't seem to be the kind of people, 1, expecting you to bring them back, not caring what else you're doing, sort of thing. 2, refusing to actually just come and get their child, whether they've got to pay for it or not.
Well, it sounds like mother, like daughter, really.
Yeah, it must, definitely, I agree.
Because if she's been moody from the minute she got on the train, she didn't listen to the instructions to bring extra things. And it's your friend's birthday.
Yeah.
and you're being moody and not getting involved and actually making a point to kind of ruin and put a damper on it.
I feel like that as well, yeah.
But yeah, I would never expect the other person's mum to drop what they're doing with other children.
No.
And bring my kid home.
Good. She's got the other friends with her. Because you imagine how much it would have really brought the vibe down.
Yeah, totally.
The fact
maybe
that
that's what it was. Maybe because she's the new friend, she didn't have her to herself. It could have been that.
But that didn't help the situation.
But regardless, how cheeky of that mum to expect her
that actually is making me angry.
To bring her all the way home.
Yeah, it's actually making me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, you're definitely not the arsehole.
Definitely not, no.
And like you say, tell your daughter she's better off without a friend like that.
Yeah, I would have put her on the fucking train. I'll pay your ticket, meet her on the other side.
See you later. No, it's hard. Like, there's nothing worse than when like kids are around and they're not happy because you want them to be happy. But she's 12.
Yeah. Well, Lexi had it the other night. She was fine. She just couldn't go back to sleep.
Yeah, bless her. Yeah. So she came for a second sleepover.
Yes, she did.
Because she was absolutely fine the first time. And then, they had a great time. They watched some movies. Lexi fell asleep first. Then Kason fell asleep probably about 10 o'clock, 9:30. And then me and Liam were just getting into bed, actually. And I heard footsteps in the hallway. So I got up and I think she got up for a wee. So I took her to the bathroom, put her back in bed. Then 20 minutes later, I heard her get up again. And then she got upset because I think she was like, I can't fall back asleep. And then I'm panicking and then I'm uncomfortable. So luckily, it was quite late. I think it was about 12:45. So I was like, it's not, if it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, I probably would have just said
come on.
Get in bed with me or something. Let's, cuddle or lie with her until she fell asleep. But I thought,
she was so frustrated with herself.
Yeah.
But when you get something you just can't get back to sleep.
It's because she got
upset.
Best
thing to do.
Yeah, because she got upset. I was like, I don't want to convince her to stay and go back to sleep with her being upset.
But imagine having a child with you that's just like, you are a rat kind of thing. You know what I mean? Actually thinking.
Well, I'm quite lucky because most of the kids that Kason hangs out with are my friends' kids. Yeah. And I like my friends' kids. But like, you've been through it probably more, where there are certain friends where you're like, you're not a very good friend or you're not a very nice influence.
Yeah, obviously.
How do you navigate that?
It's hard because you've got to, and I say it's hard because they're growing as well. You know what I mean? And as we know we're all like, God knows how I was when I was a certain age. Do you know what I mean? But it's just trying to guide your children to know what's right or wrong, and don't have the piss taken out you as a person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you could really, really care about that person, but they're not giving you that same friendship. It's hard to learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's really hard to learn.
Yeah. Because we just always like to be liked, don't we?
And sometimes as parents, we can obviously see more.
Yeah.
But you can't.
Yeah. There's a few times I think my mum's made comments about friends and I'm like, you don't know. Yeah. You don't see.
Yeah.
And she's always right.
Yeah,
my mum's always right.
Exactly. I remember when I was in primary school, Mum had to be called in because we went from like me and my friend, like best friend, and then there was another girl. So then it was like two, what do they say? Two's company, three's a crowd. And literally that's what it was.
Yeah.
So it was just at 3, it was just, and all the mums had to come in and chat about this issue and da-da-da-da-da. But I
remember being at a sleepover. This was when I still lived in England. So I was in junior school. I want to say I was maybe 8 or 9. And it was a group of us that went from maybe, 2 or 3 close friends. And then I think there was 4 or 5 of us. So we all went to the sleepover. I don't really know what happened, but me and this other girl got told to leave. We got asked to leave by the birthday girl who was one of our friends. Wow. I don't know if we maybe were joking about, maybe said something and she took it the wrong way. I literally cannot remember.
Yeah, for you, it was such like a random, oh my God.
I literally, unless I've just forgotten, I really can't remember. Yeah. But I actually remember being quite shocked. Like me and her, we got picked up. We got picked up. I can't remember if it was her mum picked us up or my mum picked us up. And anyway, we ended up getting pizza and going to one of our houses anyway. So we had like our own sleepover. But I remember being like,
oh, you actually got sent home.
We got sent home from a sleepover. But like you say, girls are very like that at that age. Yeah. So it is hard.
I'm already noticing that with Lexi. You know, sometimes she comes over from school and she'll say something, I'm like, you'll be fine by tomorrow sort of thing. You know
so
what I
it's
mean?
sometimes just letting them like, oh, it's a day, it's a moment.
well. Yeah.
But sometimes like, you need to.
Yeah.
That's a pattern in that person.
And I've had people contact me before because a situation has happened with one of the boys, and I think they thought my reaction was going to be different to what it was, but no, I will help. You know, if my children hasn't done something right, then they need to be, you know, they need to fix it. You know what I mean, sort of thing. Not no, my child wouldn't never do this and never do that. And
no, I think it's hard because when you're told something from somebody else about your kid.
You got told that, and
it's like, right, let me
it's
figure
hard to
it
go
out.
on the defense, not to go on the defense.
You kind of want to stick up for them, but then you also don't want to stick up for them automatically because no kid's perfect. They might have done something. So it's like you want them to feel like you've got their back, but you don't want them to feel like they can get away with shit, and you're just blindly going to stick up for them.
And if someone, my child has been nasty or done something not nice, then that's not how I bring my child up, and I will, I will deal with that.
Yeah. So if you had someone telling you that, like, this has happened, my child's told me that Morgan's done this, and Morgan tells you it happened differently, what do you do in that situation?
That's hard because I don't think mine have ever really lied, because they know how much I don't like lying.
Yeah.
I mean, direct, like if I'm asking them a question.
Yeah.
It's different if you don't tell me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not lying, is it, you know? And sometimes I know, but kids, like in that side. But if I ask them a question and they lie, usually they know that if I ask them the question, I already know the answer.
So it's basically
they're
like, don't lie.
Just telling me anyway, just the truth.
So you've got quite a good,
I think,
sense of it because they don't tend to lie.
I would hope not. I mean, if they ever have, they've got away with it.
Yeah.
And no, I would say no.
That's something that I've started to say to Kaysen with little things, because he's starting to do little white lies, which I know all kids go through, but it's like little things. But I'm like, don't lie to me because that's worse.
Yeah.
And because that was one thing my mum always said to me as well.
You get more in trouble for lying.
Don't lie to me. Yeah. Always tell me the truth.
Yeah.
You're, like you say, you're getting less trouble if you just tell me.
I say that's why you're getting, definitely. 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know. I think it has. I do think I think they've realised that with me as well, actually, that most of that time that they think, whatever
you
the
don't
situation
actually
is,
react.
It's not. It would be more if you lied about something. I think I've definitely reacted more to a lie than I have.
I think that's the trick, because I think if you react to everything, then they're going to try and keep things away from you, because naturally they don't want you to react. So I think if you, that was a bit stupid, wasn't it? Like, or, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to fix it? Like, be stern with them. Don't let them get away with stuff. The bigger you react to make them hold things in, they're going to become liars.
Yeah.
So,
because it's like more of a scared thing, isn't it?
Not
because they want to lie in a way.
Yeah. I was always more scared to lie to my mum than to tell her the truth.
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I think. Anyway. But with having friends, the other side of it is that every household is different. Yeah. Every household, even every child in a household is different, isn't it? In our own. So even that you could have not that, my Mason having a friend with his age, and then a brother or a sister having a friend with Lexi or Morgan. It's a completely different experience. Not that's happened, but do you get what I'm saying? It could.
Well, siblings aren't the same. No. So,
but as long as siblings. I think it's just communication as well, with, like you said, but that one is definitely the parent.
Yeah, well,
definitely the parent.
If the daughter's that moody and the mum reacted like that, selfish that she's willing to ruin her friend's birthday, and then the mum's like, well, bring her to me because I'm not coming all the way out to get her.
My reaction would be, what a spoiled little cow. I'm coming now. Leave her there and I'll meet her on the side of the road. You carry on with your day.
So, like, you would call your daughter up on that.
Yeah. Completely. Like, you horrible little cow.
Don't ruin your friend's birthday. Be a good friend.
Don't expect to have any more friends because you just spoil that one.
Oh, I liked that. That was good.
That was good.
I like it. No arsehole. No arseholes. They're all in the right. So we'll see if we can find an actual arsehole story next time. But no, thanks for joining for another week.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys soon.
We will.
Bye.
Adios.